What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Abby and I are here with our new friends, Ben and Shauna Weaver. We are super excited to have them on the podcast today. We actually are getting to know them today. So, Ben and I connected through a mutual friend maybe a month ago now, and just realized that we had a lot in common, a lot of similar values, faith background, and we just really got excited to have them on the podcast and have them share their story with you. So I am going to kick it over to them and let them tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we'll get into it. So, Ben, Shauna, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here, man. Thank you so much. What an honor to just sit with you guys and share this space together. Really appreciate it. Do you want to go?
You're the professional
Uh,
podcast.
uh, we live in St. Louis, Missouri, where I was essentially born and raised in the area. Shauna's not from the area. She can tell you more about that. She's got roots down in Florida and with her family, but a 5 and a 3-year-old. We two girls. We just celebrated 7 years of marriage, and so our lives kind of really were started taking root around the pandemic area with a newborn, and so there was a lot of challenges there for different things. But I have enjoyed just a career of now 25 years. Actually, I was just thinking this is last year, a life of just following God wherever He leads me. For 15 years of that, it was in vocational ministry as a pastor
Mhm.
inside the local church. Loved working with middle school and high school kids. It was a joy of my life. And since then, I've been an entrepreneur in the marketplace. And that has, for me, is just, it's been a lot of joy. It's been hard. It's taken me on to do several different things. But for me, the way that I kind of capsulate all of it is through all the work I do. I'm a, I thought about this recently. I'm a builder of men. And so men who love the Lord, but are looking to grow significantly in areas in their life spiritually,
Mhm.
looking to make their stamp in the marketplace with the vision that God has given for them. And
Mhm.
so that's what I do in a variety of ways and helping them find clarity, helping them grow and to ascend to the man that God meant when he meant them. So that's really what I do outside of being a husband and a father is I fill my days with as many of those conversations that I can be in and the work that I do. And it's not, it's really hard work, but it is, I mean, the word that comes to mind for me is just this beautiful work. So I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
That's
you were made to
awesome.
do it,
Well, thank you.
and
I know.
I
Yeah.
can tell it's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Shauna. I am a mama to Mabel and Gemma, little girls, and I'm a mental health therapist since 2021. I graduated in 2020 uh, from Covenant Theological Seminary, and I'm a creative. So I'm a photographer, a calligrapher. I dabble in embroidery.
I understand the
Yeah.
creator side of things.
Yeah, just love to create beauty and be around beauty, be in nature. Mm, I mean,
You
that's really
write?
cool.
You
And,
said,
and I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I just recently started a Substack called Upside Down Motherhood, and I am thoroughly enjoying that whenever I can devote time to it. And yeah, I've lived kind of all over the place, but kind of grew up in Florida, and that's where my family's at. So that's where I consider home. I feel most at home. Obviously, home is wherever my little family is, but I love whenever I can get back there and
Right
wouldn't mind
on.
being neighbors with you guys in Colorado someday.
Right?
We would
Come
love
on
that.
out.
We may
that's
have been neighbors in Florida. What part of Florida did you live in? That's where I'm
I'm at
from.
the Tampa, like Newport Richie.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up in Carrollwood.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
Cool.
gosh, the
Another
world is
connection.
just colliding.
So small. It's so small.
It's insane.
Yep. Yeah, so I was in Tampa, birth to 21. We did a 3-year stint in Houston, Texas. My dad got a job transfer since then.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, right on. Newport Richie, Tampa. That's
Mm.
awesome.
All right, well let's dive into some of the questions. You all said you've been married 7 years, and so you got married just before COVID? Is that how that shakes out?
Yeah,
2019,
about
20.
6 months before I think everything started too.
shift.
to shut
Okay.
Yeah.
down. Mhm.
Okay, so
It was
that's
an
like
interesting time
yeah,
too.
that's like throw you into the storm of marriage and then throw you into the storm of the world shutting down. So I'm
Mhm.
curious how that process was for you and what that experience was like being newly married in the midst of chaos, really.
It was so crazy because
We also got pregnant that month.
yeah, we did. We
Oh,
did. We
wow.
Okay.
we
Yeah.
got pregnant
Was
right
interesting.
before everything shut down. Everything shut down like February, March, and it was January. It was a little bit of a like our world was just shifting already.
Pandemic kinda started in January, got pregnant in January, graduated in May.
That's right.
I was like
Oh,
19
Mhm.
wow.
weeks pregnant. Or 19
Oh,
oh gosh, 19 weeks pregnant.
And I was running a marketing consultancy company, just working that like and what was crazy about that is I was building that business, like my leads and stuff based off of speaking engagements. So and if the
Wow.
world shuts down, like I literally within a week I had 6 or 7 engagements I had on the books cancel.
yep.
Yep.
Like not
Yep.
even pivot to an online, but like, no, we're not doing it. And I was like, okay, like this is interesting.
Yikes.
And so there was a lot going on there. Our ritual became like Ben just hunkers down in his office trying to make things work. She was finishing school, so that when she
Right.
graduated in
Mhm.
May, and then Friday nights were pizza and movies. Like that's just kind of what
Go
we
to
did.
Aldi's, stand
Yeah,
in line with your mask, get
get
some
some.
take and bakes, and come
Oh,
back and
wow.
watch, like, HGTV.
Oh.
Yeah, and we live in a a good sized city. 2 million people in the surroundings. So like
Mhm.
everything was like very like rule. There was not a ton of freedom. Like it was like you
Right.
really
Mhm.
had to abide by all the things, which annoyed the crap out of me.
Mhm.
And we both married later. So I was 34, 35 at the time.
Mhm.
You were 28,
29.
29, and so you're the dynamic that we had already established we were two very independent people, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
so bringing
Okay.
all that together was challenging at times because we had routines and the way we did things, and so that was difficult. And then to find out, hey, we're going to have a baby later on this year, and we obviously nobody knew what does September look like for this, like,
Right.
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 so it was a lot, a stressor. I mean, we were clinging to all sorts of things. It was hard.
It was hard, and yet also it was so far I feel like last we checked in about this, we agreed that it was the sweetest
Mhm.
season of our marriage
Mm.
Mm.
because it was just us. And obviously,
Yeah.
like, that has its, you know, that has its downfalls as you start to go
Mhm.
stir crazy. But also, it was just kind of the season of shutting out the world and being together.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm an introvert, so that was not a hard thing. It wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done.
It was going
So, like,
crazy.
obviously, it was a traumatic time for the world,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it was a sweet time for us, and both can be true.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All the introverts during COVID were like, "What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I don't
If I have
understand."
toilet paper, I'm fine.
That's
Yep.
right. I'm fine. I'm really good. That's awesome. So, over the 7-year journey in your marriage, how do you feel like you guys have built a relationship that you want to be in?
It's a powerful question. Getting back to that whole independent piece of being the having the type of personalities that we have, and so
Mhm.
much
Yeah.
And independent and, like, intense.
intense. They use
Yes.
that word.
We're
Yes,
we're
Yes.
both
independent.
intense personalities.
Yes,
Yeah.
independent
Yeah.
intense.
We
That's even
we have yeah.
Sevens and ones, Enneagram sevens and ones are both intense.
You get it.
We
We
have been
totally
described
get
as
it.
intense, and we looked at each other, we're like, "Are we?"
We've
Yes.
we've literally had people say, "The Housefield family's intense." And we're like,
This was just like
Are
weeks
we?
ago.
I guess we are. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to
Just
hear
a
you
little
guys
bit.
say it, I'm like, "Yes, okay, we are. We are."
No, we just named it from the start.
Yeah. Well, to that, I'm gonna use that. So intense for sure. I want to use that to our benefit in that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll use a friend one time, and he knows Sean and I well. Our families have hung out some, and he said to me, I can't remember what the context was, but we were talking about marriage. But he said, Ben, you and Shauna just you know how to get after it. Like you do not dodge anything. He's like, you
Mm.
just
Interesting.
go. And he's like, I'm telling you right now, not every married couple does that. I was
So
like,
true.
"Really? Like, what?" And he's like, "No, seriously." He goes, and he kind of referenced him and his wife a little bit. He goes, "We're starting to like really dig in," but he goes, "You'd be surprised." And there were people that just end up living parallel lives because they're like, "Nope, we're just not going to
Yes.
deal here, and we're going to just set up
Mhm.
Yes.
whatever." And Sean and I
Yep.
just, whether we say it or not, we just refuse to do that. The phrase we use in our house all the time is, "We're going to go after the high hanging fruit." And
Mm.
so for me, like I want to use that intensity to as a redemption to
Mhm.
Mhm.
really help and sometimes it comes across as intense in a bad way for
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
whether
intense is intense, and that has its
yeah.
pros and cons.
And so to get back to Abby to what your question that you want to be in, it's just for me continuing to stay engaged.
Mhm.
Like in a phrase that I use, I pray every morning. I prayed it this morning. I there's a couple iterations to it specifically, but I just one of the things I say is, Lord, I choose you and engaging with your story for our lives today. And I choose the story of my marriage. I choose my
Mm.
wife, hands
Mhm.
down. Like, and to me, that is a mental trigger to say, whatever happens today, I choose us. Like, that's
Mhm.
just where we're
Mhm.
going. And so that to me is it's constant, it's daily engagement. It's daily
Yeah.
Well, and I
yeah,
hear like a decision factor in
yeah.
there, like
Deciding.
or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel
Mhm.
like we are good at, to your point of like we don't even know how to lead parallel lives or to not be involved or intense or
Mm.
pursuing each other or the things that we want is that we're just good at connecting, like even in seasons where there's not extra resources to go out and like
Mhm.
have white tablecloth dinners or
Mhm.
go to a concert or anything like that. We stay connected. We keep choosing each other. We keep choosing the things that we want. This
Mhm.
is the life that we are building together, and
Yeah.
we have the ability to make something beautiful. And
I would just love to go one level deeper, which is what are some of the family rhythms, rituals, practices that you have together that help you stay connected and engaged? Ben, you shared one for you. I'm curious what those look like for you guys together, maybe on a weekly basis, daily, monthly. Love to hear some
Yeah.
practical, just like, yeah, these are things that we do that really
Work well for us.
help us stay engaged and work well for us
Mhm.
and our temperaments and personalities.
yeah, I know that we tend to sit down together in an unspoken way, create space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We touch base. Also, one of those things that I kind of thought was normal, like, oh, every couple touches base with each other and kind of chat, start talking to my
Right.
Mm.
clients, asking questions like, no. And
Uh-uh.
so that is a like almost daily rhythm. And then weekly rhythm, we do Sabbath. So our Saturdays are
Mm.
spent preparing for Sabbathing on Sundays. And that's
Mhm.
something that we've done even before we were married. Individually, and then we did Corey
Mhm.
once we were married. That has been very life-giving of like, okay, we know that this day is for joy and connection,
Mm.
and obviously, does that look different when you have kids versus when they're older
Yes.
or
Mhm.
before you had them? Yes.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
if you find ways around that, they're growing and changing all the time. And then like monthly, we try to get out at least once a month for a date. We've been trying to make that twice a month. Honestly, 4 times a month would be ideal. But at least once a month is what we try to do. Um, get into nature, just sit down and even just stare at the wall together, stare at each other's eyes. We just
Yeah. Love
just
it. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's so good. Appreciate the practical application there.
Mhm.
Uh, Ben is an Enneagram 7. Shauna is an Enneagram 1. Same for me and Abby, by the way. Enneagram 7, Enneagram 1. How do you honor your differences in personality and temperament? Because I do think that a lot of relationships can find themselves in a place, often unintentionally, right? Where they kind of despise the differences or the differences are just a rub on the relationship and they kind of resent the other person for the ways in which they behave the opposite of their spouse or that sort of thing. So I'd love to hear for you guys, what does it look like for you to honor and celebrate each other's differences?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question and has not been my strength. That is your gift more than it is mine. I know that, like, my weakness, I don't know if Abby can resonate with this or not, but is that, like, I think I usually know, like, the right way to do things and usually have the right answer.
It's at least
And,
better.
you know, like, "No, no, you don't understand. I've put everything through 1,000 grids, and I've given it a lot of
Yep.
thought
Yep.
and trial and error, and I found the right way," right? And so when
Mhm.
he comes along and does things from my perspective, like, upside down and backwards, I'm
Mhm.
like, "What are you doing? Here, let me explain to you." And so it's been this process, and it's still a process, if I'm honest, of appreciating, like, he's going to do it his own way because he has his own
Mm,
perspective.
yep.
And that's a good thing because if I were married to myself, I don't know that it would go well.
Right.
And I don't know that our
Right.
children would be better off. So it's
Right.
kind of that reminder of it's humbling to say, but it's just it's my story, it's my personality of he is different and that's okay.
Yeah.
And like I'm a counselor, right? So like I know to honor differences in a room with a client. I have no problem honoring differences,
Right.
allowing space for
Mhm.
differences. But
Yeah.
intimate relationships can be entirely different stories, and I think any counselor would probably attest to that. And
Yeah.
so it's been this like it's this been this journey and this reminding of his differences are not a result of the fall. Like he is his own person, and that is a good thing. And sometimes
Oh.
I ask him a lot. I'm like, okay, help me understand, help me understand. And I think he's really tired. He gets tired of me asking that. But that is my
Yeah.
attempt to go like help my brain receive and process the fact that you have your own reasoning. You're not throwing spaghetti at a wall. You
Right.
have your own thought process. And
Mhm.
and that's valid. Um
Mhm.
and you don't owe me that. And that's probably why you get frustrated. You're like, I don't owe you an explanation. But
Mm.
but part of me is trying to like understand and appreciate that once and for all so that
Mhm.
we can just move on and have a better dynamic and some less friction. But overall, that is your gift and
Yeah.
it is my journey.
Well,
I just love your honesty and vulnerability there. That was beautiful. Well said.
yeah. No, yeah, absolutely, babe. I thank you for saying that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for affirming me and being more flexible there specifically. But I want to go a layer deeper. I have my perspective, but and this is a language that I use. I built a life where everything relied on me because I couldn't trust anyone to help me out.
Mm.
I also know how to do everything, but
Mhm.
it's not because it's a little bit of the jack of all trades, master of none idea to
Yep.
some
Mhm.
degree. Now, and I will say in parenting, that is, I will say complete novice beginner. Like I am a
Mhm.
sponge. Like let me just learn and grow and all those things, especially
Mhm.
with a lot of the shifts and changes that we are doing as a family that both of our families never made. We can get into that probably shortly.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who never asked for help. So
Mm.
for me, I'm naturally going to have my bent to want to do it my way. I a thank you for me say I'm more flexible with that, but would also say like, hey, I could also give and say, hey, like I need to do a better job of asking for help or receiving a
Mhm.
perspective that I haven't seen before. All those things.
Got it.
It yeah
Got it. Yeah.
I think part of what I'm hearing you
Yeah.
saying is that part of your way of coping is telling yourself, I've got this figured out,
yeah
even when you don't.
yeah sure
Right.
yeah
And so
yeah
now you have two people in a relationship who is like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, let me show you, let me tell you how.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got this
Yeah.
figured
Yeah.
out because I have to figure it out. Like that's the
Because
thing.
Right.
someone has to have it
Yeah
figured out, and that
Yeah.
Mhm.
person at one point in your story felt like it had to be you,
yeah
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not
and how do you
necessarily
learn?
because you want to, Ben, right? Not necessarily
Yeah.
because that's something you want to do or you even care about the topic you have to figure out. But you're like, this is just what I do.
Yep. Exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And there is that just like I love what you guys said about staying committed to each other and engaged because if you do that consistently over time, then you start to build enough trust to where you could start to let go of that old story.
Mhm.
And you could say, "Oh, actually, I trust Shauna to figure this out, or I trust that she's done the research, or I trust that she knows what we should do, and I'm actually not gonna put that on myself." But that feels really scary at first, but then over time, as you guys engage with each other and build that trust, it's something that or
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well said.
love it.
So as you guys have found, and it's funny, both of you, what you shared, because you're both so capable. I think
Mhm,
that's where that
mhm,
perception of intensity comes from, right?
mhm.
Where you get
Yeah.
like both of you can do anything.
Yeah.
Uh, in this, where you're like, I've got it, and it looks completely different. How does it feel to be seen, or what makes you feel seen by your partner or by your spouse in this
Mhm.
kind of situation where you're both you both got it, but you might have it in a different way?
Yeah.
I, gosh, I can't. I'm having a hard time. For me, I'm just keep processing through just my own story, my own stuff, and so like you're gonna get some of that coming out here for sure.
Absolutely.
I've got
To hear,
examples I feel like you'd resonate with too.
okay,
I feel like in some ways we might have some of the same answer. I'm thinking about
yeah,
times when like I might be getting ready to go out with the girls, or vice versa. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it was the other day, and I was headed to work, and you were taking them to the splash pad, and I called you and was like, "Oh, just make sure they have this. Just make sure they have that. Just sunscreen
Yeah.
and
Mm,
Yeah.
hats
yeah.
and all
Yeah.
the things."
Yeah.
And you could just tell it, and his voice was like, "Would you get off me?" Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think that that makes you feel really unseen because you're like, "Here I am. My
Mhm.
Mm,
job as a child, my emotional job as a child was to have it." And so
yeah.
there's
Mhm.
this part of you who takes that role really seriously. And so
Mhm.
that feels not like being seen, that feels not like, right?
Mhm.
And he will do the same thing to me where I feel like I am
Right.
capable to a fault. And he'll be like, "Do you have the car keys?" And I'm like, "Ah!" And so I know that that drives us both crazy for similar
Yeah.
reasons, even though we have
Yeah.
wildly different stories with I mean, our stories are like a Venn diagram. They're like wildly different with
Right.
some overlap,
Right. Right.
Mhm.
but that we both kinda irk each other in those ways, and we both can see each other at the same time, can see each other by saying, "You know what? I trust you. You
Mm.
got this." And I
Mm.
get kinda ended the phone call with that of like, I'm just gonna go to work." Like, I know
yeah.
you got this.
That is a fantastic example because I was like, this isn't my first rodeo. Like I know what my girls need.
Yeah.
I know, like, and so
Yeah.
the part I was going to bring up, and this is just a kind of good segue to that, is for me, it's trusting that I have it, knowing that
Mhm.
I have what it takes and I can do it, and to be respected in that. Like,
Mhm.
yep, all good. And then
Mhm.
for me, on the flip side of that, if I do miss something in the process that was whatever, it's me saying, owning and letting go of my pride, and going, hey, I botched this kind of bad. I don't know what happened. I know I can see her because she can see what may have happened. If I can own that, I can
Mhm.
acknowledge the fact that, like, hey, this is one of your strengths. I missed this here. I'm really sorry
Yep. Yep.
of seeing her in that particular moment at the intensity of what we bring to the table
Yeah.
of wrestling through that. We have good days and bad days.
I feel like we're also getting to the point in the story where, like, before, if I would be like, "Hey, you didn't do this," or "Hey, we talked about this," or "Hey, why didn't you think of this or that?"
Mm.
If he responds with defensiveness or masking, whereas before I would get frustrated and that would kind of spiral and not go well. Anymore, I'm starting to be able to see past that. This is like the beauty of having been married for more than 5 minutes. I'm starting to see past that if he is like masking or defending. I'm like, this is hurtful for him. This is hard for him.
Yeah.
This feels vulnerable for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I think you'll agree as you're agreeing now, like, no, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. It takes time, and then, but then to have that compassion on your spouse of like, they know they messed up, and they're
Mhm.
secretly asking me to not rub their face in it and just let this go, and
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
not let this
Yep.
Mhm.
affect my
Yep.
trust in their competence is really freeing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yep. That is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit into the world of parenting. You guys became parents within 18 months of getting married. And it's funny when we've talked to a number of different couples. Some couples waited, years and then had kids. Some people had kids right away. And that always plays into like your experience and your story and how that
Good
shakes
point.
out. So I'm curious, having kids on the earlier side of being married, what was it like to step into that world of parenthood? And you've been parents now for 5 years, right? Your oldest is 5. How has your parenting evolved in that 6 years?
I feel like the vision has always been the same,
Mm,
although that has been iterated just because of one, our growth as parents, but two, just the shifting culture around us, like
Hmm.
rapidly shifting culture, it feels like to some
yeah.
degree. Now, that hasn't changed our vision. Our vision is like, nope, this is who we are. This is what we want to do. But like it's caused us to make decisions quicker about some things about what we will do or not do. I feel
Okay.
like to raise, a holistic children in regards to emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, turn the Titanic in regards to
Mhm.
our family systems and dynamics that have been
Mm.
created from both of our
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
And how do we do
Mhm.
that in an effective way? She could provide better language because she just got the emotional mental health side of it that affects so much
Mhm.
of it. And you also brought so much knowledge to the table. And is that Shauna's ridiculously smart, like so intelligent and can see through so many grids of things. I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. Like I had no idea that that was an issue and could be an issue, but it is, and here's why. Uh, and so I think for that, it's a little bit of we're repairing our own individual stories while also trying to help formulate the healthiest stories for our girls.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so,
Yep.
like, we're in the arena, we're in the fight, we're in the game, and it's messy.
How do you feel like it's
Uh,
changed? Like, I know for me that there have just been some things that I have had to, for lack of a better
Mhm.
word.
Yes.
So, like, I have this whole health journey. Basically, my health started to go off the rails in grad school after years of like being forgotten in emergency rooms and doctors saying we don't know and being sent around to specialists just kind of said, you know what, I'm going to go on the autoimmune protocol. And that got my health back to a baseline. And it's still a journey of nutritional therapy and living an autoimmune lifestyle. And so when I had kids, I brought that in, right? And we give our children our immune systems because that's all we have to
Yep.
give.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that was, kind of, I had, let's say, healthy anxiety about that. And
Yep.
so,
Yeah.
and so my kids wore like only organic cotton clothing and
Mhm.
mostly only organic food. And
Yep. Yep.
it was so fine tuned
Yeah.
that it's ironic that we realized that we were living with black mold. So
Mhm.
we had to throw out all those wooden toys and throw out all that organic clothing, and the Lord
Mhm.
showed me so much in that process of like, "Oh, hey, just so you know, this has been an idol. Like, I get why you're doing it. I get your story. That's valid.
Mhm.
But also, I want to give you the gift of realizing that your kids could wear polyester and like just eat regular food and
Mhm.
be okay, right? And they're still
Yes.
fine. And
Yes.
so, yeah, and I don't say that as a flex like that. It's beautiful in my intentionality as a parent, and it's also like my brokenness of
Mhm.
Mm.
um I have to make sure that we are okay. And this is my understanding of how we do that.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I was telling a friend recently of I've just lowered my standards and I
Mhm.
cannot see where it hasn't helped because
Mm.
that's a tight grip. That was a
Mhm.
tight
Right.
grip to have.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's how my parenting has changed. So even though like the goals and the vision are still the same, this desire for
Right.
children that are integratively whole, not
Mhm.
just whole in pieces, not just
Mhm.
healthy in ways that but truly healthy, truly whole, truly grounded in their identity as believers first and foremost, and that the Lord has them. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of this realization of the Lord has them and I don't. I can let go, and I think they feel that. I think our
Yeah,
whole family feels that.
totally. And I've
Mm.
watched that change significantly in you over the last several months. And I know it's been life giving for everyone involved, for sure. Like, even saw it play out this morning, as the girls walked out the door, just different things and just, yeah.
Mm.
So, yep.
Ben,
Abby, can you relate
well,
to?
yeah. We've we've been on a crazy similar journey. We
Mm.
took our oldest, and we must have been out and about time, and she was 18 months old. 2 years. She couldn't have been 2 yet. We went to a local burger joint who they, grass-fed burgers as clean as you can get at the time because it was 11, 12 years ago. I remember having so much turmoil over getting her, and the girl loved food. Like we couldn't have sat and ate in front of her as much as I wanted to and take her home and make her organic chicken. She's gonna have French fries. I was like, Coleman, she can't have French fries. I was
I
so
feel ya.
strict. I mean, we did, we apologize all the time for the way that we parented our oldest at the very beginning because it was like precise down to a rhythm and a system, and now, my oldest will look at what we offer the youngest and she's like, "Really, mom? That's allowed?" I'm like, "Yep, I don't care as much anymore." So naturally that progression of releasing some of that control happens, but also going through the healing process of realizing you can have just as much anxiety over the healthful path as you can the unhealth, and that's not any healthier.
Yeah.
And so finding that balance, we've gone through a journey. We've had to navigate mold in our house with our middle and her being
Okay.
sick for months and months and figuring that out.
You
Goodness.
you get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
We do.
Um, Ben and I have well, not that I can speak for you, but we've talked about this. I think you'd agree. We both struggle with kind of this orphan mentality
Mhm.
Mm,
um, when it comes to our faith of like, yeah, we have a God who loves us, but it's a dog eat dog world and we are on our own.
Right.
And
yeah.
Right.
that's not what the word of God says, but that is very
Mm.
much a place that we have lived out of spiritually,
Mm.
emotionally, and that He has been actively addressing in our lives in the past year, year and a half. I don't know, maybe 7 years for sure.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's a
And
continual
it's
thing.
no small issue. Like, that's everything to God, whether or not you know and live as an orphan or as a
Mm.
child.
Self reliance doesn't
Yeah.
just come up once. You have to repent of that several times over. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You used some language early on in the conversation, Shauna, that I really liked. But it was this idea of like God is always doing his part. Whether we believe that or not is that's our journey. That's our faith journey. But he is always doing his part for his children, right? For his kids.
God is more
Then,
at work than you are,
yeah.
even though we
Yeah.
don't live like it.
Yep.
We don't, right? We don't
Mhm.
often believe it. We don't live like we believe it.
Was there a moment in that process, and sometimes there's not like a specific moment, sometimes it's gradual, but was there a moment in that process of kind of running the extreme health road where you realized this isn't working anymore?
I mean, I think the mold was recovering from the mold was that for us. I mean, and every mold
Mm,
story is different for us. Like, and I'd always heard people talk about mold, like, why do people have to throw out their belongings? I don't get it. If they were covered in visible black spores, like, why didn't you know that you're living with mold? Well, no, you develop a tolerance to the mold,
Right.
and then you realize you're
Right.
living with it, you leave it, and then you can no longer tolerate your own things.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that depends on the extent to which you have developed an intolerance, developed a
Mhm.
mold sensitivity. For us, I'm pretty sensitive. I can, you could take me into any given building, and in about
Mhm.
5 minutes, my sinuses will tell you whether or
Mhm.
not there's active spores. So yeah, we bought a house and we replaced a lot of our belongings. Some of the things we didn't bother replacing, we had a lot of crap. Uh, but we replaced a lot of things. I mean, as I'm looking around, like the main area of our home, like a majority of it, we didn't have before, and that was by the grace of God
Mm.
and different
Mhm.
avenues that we built our house from the ground up.
Yep.
Basically, we rebuilt our home, but in that process, you're like, okay, can I afford the crackers without the seed oils this week?
Mhm.
No.
Yep. Yep.
So
Mhm.
do I wanna go the
Right.
sourdough route? Did that for a while. Do I just wanna say, "You know what? They're gonna be fine."
Mm.
And so there was a lot of that, and God is so good in the constant corrective experiences that He provides us if
Mhm.
we will let Him. So, yeah, and I mean, I feel like our girls have flourished despite all that they went through last year with living with family members and friends and just a really crazy hard time. But
Mm.
yeah, God was good. God has been faithful.
Yep.
Um, the day that we looked at the home that we're in now, we're like, oh, I don't know. Like it's the only house that matches our criteria, but it's just a lot of money. And it feels so anxiety provoking after the housing situation that we just came out of.
Mhm.
And we were
Mhm.
essentially in a legal battle with our landlord who was trying
Oh.
to,
Yeah.
like, just blame things on us to recoup her own expenses. It felt so risky, so risky.
Yeah.
And we were driving home and we see a double rainbow, a end to end double
Mhm.
Mhm.
rainbows. And I mean, obviously, rainbows are a symbol of God's promise, but they have also had a personal significance in my life
Mm.
Mm.
of anytime we were in a hard time or God was just like, trust me, there has been a rainbow. I have looked out and seen a rainbow. And so I'm like, you know what? We're buying it. We're buying it. And here we are.
Yep. hmm
That's
Beautiful.
awesome.
It's
I
One of
love
the
it.
beautiful.
many things I love about my wife is that right there. It's the resolve. It's the, oh, we see what God's doing. Like we're saying yes to what he's doing. Here we go. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the same thing. So it's like, buckle up.
Oh
When
yeah.
you say yes to God, and then you've got two people saying yes to God, and then we're like, oh, God, why do you keep trying to use us?
Mm,
This is so obnoxious. Just leave
Yeah.
us alone. Let's have a
There's
simple,
Stop.
happy life. And he's like, are you kidding me?
yeah. No, we would be bored to tears and really like lamos if we just lived what we thought the kind of life we think we want to live. Yeah, it's not
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yep.
Hmm?
Well, we would be
Sometimes you crave
disappointed.
it.
Yeah,
We'd
disappointed.
be
Everybody would
missing
be.
out. I mean, that is most people's stories. They choose the
Yeah.
smaller, easier, wider
Smaller, easy. Yeah,
path,
small
and they're
story.
happier on, maybe in some ways they're happier on this side of eternity for it, but we know that God has more.
Yeah, we've
A
seen
lot
too
more.
much.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We know too much.
Yep.
Yeah, you know too much. You've seen too much. Tell me about the last time your kids had big emotions and how you coached them through it.
That was this morning.
Well, that's
Well,
every
that
day.
is,
Yeah.
that is, it's every day. We're a big tool family. So what are the
Yeah.
tools we have available to us that
Yeah.
we can use and that can help us get to a place of regulation? And we
Mhm.
all have to use them at different
Mhm.
times for different reasons and different places. And so one of the things we're trying to do, let's get in your body for a minute. Like, what are you feeling? What are you sensing? Like
Mhm.
what's going on here? It's also getting on their level and meeting them where they're at specifically,
Mhm.
which I will just admit it's very difficult to do because, like, as a 42, almost 43-year-old man, I was like, this isn't a big deal. Like, she took your thing, like, just give it back. And what are we doing
Right.
here? Like,
Right. Right.
but
Mhm.
it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
hold on, like, there's something for you that would trigger you, Ben, at 42 that's triggering them at 5 and 3. So, like,
Right.
let's meet them where they're at specifically
Mhm.
there.
Right.
And so it's everything between, if you want to get practical, it's pushing against a wall. It's
Mhm.
taking deep breaths. We're all about let's get some of this.
Helping her attune to her senses is
Yeah.
one that we
Attuned to
forget
her senses.
sometimes is always really helpful.
Yeah, attuned to her senses.
Mm.
Like, she'll be like, "Hi," you're
Mhm.
like, "Mabel, what do you smell?" And she's like, nothing." And I'll just like, "Oh, we're back."
And we're back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, uh-huh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that one's yeah. And a lot of times it's emotional regulation is just connecting with them specifically.
Mhm.
Sometimes those big emotions happen because there's been a disconnection. Not anything that's been done wrong. There's not no need for repair, but a need for connection. And
Yeah.
I feel that to be probably those things happen more in my times with parenting, less of Shauna's because Shauna spends more time with the girls, is able to
Mhm.
connect with them in so many ways where my time is. And so because of that,
Mhm.
the connection is actually more imperative for me to meet them where they're at, whatever that is,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
playing with them in a particular thing, whatever that is, and connecting with them, and that also helps.
And I could think of a practical example if you
Yes,
Go
I
for
would
it.
love to
to.
hear it.
So this past weekend, I was at a restaurant, went out with family after was in Florida, went out with family after my niece's birthday party, and she was just starting to unravel, and everything was an issue. I don't know if your kids ever get in that place where it's like everything right
Oh,
now is
yeah.
an issue. And first
Mhm.
she couldn't sit by her cousin,
Yep.
and then it was like, "It is not a big deal, sit by your cousin." And then it was, "Oh, I packed her turkey at the restaurant, but she knew that I had beef sticks in my purse," and just melting, just physically, emotionally
Yep.
Mhm.
melting.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Okay, okay." The really natural thing to do would be she's sitting across from me at the table, would be to, like, I don't know, reach across and be like, "You get over here, you listen to me, you're not gonna behave like this in front of my family."
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
"Well, we know that that's not very super effective." So, where is she at? Where is she at? And I think in general, we try to think through without like naming it. We kind of think through three frameworks in our household. Is one is probably the biggest is like attachment connection. Is this
Mhm.
child connected? Are they feeling
Yep.
disconnected? Is that what they need right now? I feel like
Yep.
80% of the time, I don't know, a surprising percent of the time, that's what it
Mhm.
is. Not always, but a
Yep.
surprising
Mhm.
amount. The other is like we try to think through polyvagal theory, which informs like their felt sense of safety.
Yep.
Mhm.
And okay, are they not feeling safe right now? Is there something I could be doing to contribute to that, or that I am doing to contribute to that?
Mhm.
And the other is body budgeting. There's a
Mhm.
fantastic book by Mona Delahook called I think it's called Body Budget Parenting, some slight variation of that. And it invites you to think through the grid of like, what does your child have the physiological capacity to
Mm.
do? Like,
Yeah.
do they have the physical resources they need
Yep.
to listen to what you're saying? And so those are kind of the grids that we think through. And so I'm like kind of thinking through like, okay, what does she need? I'm like, okay, body budget is low. She spent a day at the
Right.
beach yesterday with grandpa
Yep.
and mom, and then a 3-year-old's birthday party today and a dance party and travel and family,
Mhm.
and she's hungry. She's
Mhm.
tired. I can ask her, "Sit up in your chair," match voices with me. But does she have the capacity to listen? No. And
Mhm.
No.
is she feeling disconnected? Safety thing? No, I don't think that applies here. And so I was like, okay, this girl just needs food. So it was where she had requested, she was like, just give me my packed meal when the grown-ups
Yeah.
eat theirs. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Here you go. You're gonna eat this now. I wanted the beef sticks. Okay. You don't have the body budget for this to be a constructive conversation. I have to then think through what battles I want to fight. Here are the
Mhm.
beef
Mhm.
sticks. Here you go. Eat
Right.
some of your turkey, and I will give you a beef stick. Oh, she came back online, still needed an early bedtime,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
but then it went pretty well. And I also, as you probably know to do with your own kids, is practicing empathy of like I repeat back to her what you want this. You want to sit by your cousin. You want the beef sticks, and you can see their demeanor totally change of, it's like, "Thank God mom sees me. Yes. Yes, I wanna sit by
Mhm.
my cousin and eat the beef sticks." Okay, yes, I see you. I hear you. You can do this, but not this or whatever. Here
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this. Here's some food. Put it in your body. Chew and swallow.
Yep.
Okay, right. And now we're coming back online. Now we're in a place
Mhm.
where, the restaurant doesn't end up on the news. And I'm like, okay, was that smooth? No, not
Right.
necessarily.
Right.
But but we got through it. And I feel like thinking through those rubrics, especially in those moments, are really, really helpful for us.
We've watched a piece of watermelon change an entire day. It's incredible. It's insane. Like the whole body moving thing's real. Like here's
So much
this.
I mean, for
power.
me too.
Sure, for all of us. Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you eat before we left? No. Okay. Yeah, well,
Mhm.
let's get
Yeah,
you
it's a whole
something.
halt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hungry,
Angry.
angry, lonely,
Lonely? Tired.
tired.
Yeah. Halt.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Halt.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's
that's
like
it.
the adult
Yeah.
There we
version,
go.
but probably
Mhm.
applies to kids too.
Yep.
That's cool. I've not heard those three frameworks used in that way before. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, I feel like, as you share and you also recognize that you have a whole story behind that experience with your child. I don't know if you have a similar experience. When I hear that story, I can remember sitting in situations like that with our kids. Do I give them the beef stick or not? And there was that, like, I'm not going to let them win, right? There was that kind of domineering parenting, which probably came from my story. As we've shifted our parenting philosophies, having to shift that perspective of it's such a bigger story than winning and losing or power and no power.
Absolutely.
And I could be wrong, but I think our generation kind of comes from that. So making that shift in our parenting overall, it's hard to do. So that's really it's fun to hear that story and it's fun to hear your process through it, kind of what was going on internally for you. I think that's really helpful for people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We just had a conversation the other day that I feel like is really relevant. It's like the second week of summertime here. And so and our oldest doesn't do best with lack of routine. And so the things have been a little emotionally messy, right? A little physically
Mhm.
and emotionally messy. And I was getting ready for maybe it was work. And I told Ben, as you could kind of tell that like his nervous system is like bracing for impact.
Mhm.
And and so I told him, I was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna, take this or leave this little pro tip. I am realizing that the parenting moments in which I leave feeling good about are the moments in which I am internally talking to myself.
Mm.
And on the flip side, the parenting moments I do not feel good about, I was not talking to myself. I was going.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
was allowing whatever part inside me felt like it had the solution to step forth and do whatever it needed to do to soothe my own nervous system. And those are
Mhm.
typically not the parenting moments that I want to replicate. But in
Mhm.
those moments, the moments that I'm like, man, whew, that was hard, but we got through it and I feel good about that. I am talking to myself. I am saying, she is 5. She is
Mhm.
Mhm.
3. She is
Mhm.
not making my life hard. She is not giving me a hard time. She is having a hard time.
Mm.
She is also burning like a crazy amount of neurons per minute. So your
Mm.
decisions matter here. Like it's a lot of self talk.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I mean, and I don't know if this contributed to that, to your day at all, but how'd it go? You're like, it was a great day. It was really uneventful. I'm like, really? Yeah, it was
Not how it started.
fine. Right. I was like, okay. So
I love it. Now, a couple of things you've said so far, Shauna, sound an awful lot like Dr. Becky Kennedy's work. Are you familiar?
I've listened to some of her podcasts. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not necessarily, yeah, like a fan on a personal level, but I can definitely see how, from the podcast or two that I listened to, that kind of the gentle parenting.
All right. So you all are juggling work, you're juggling parenting, you're juggling marriage, and you're juggling it all and life, right? Just adulting in general. I'm curious how you guys work play into your marriage relationship and then also play into your family dynamic.
We do like go do things together. Last night was just a really great spontaneous way of how that played out.
Yeah, our
Mhm.
play
Yeah.
is usually these days, it's usually budget friendly and spontaneous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I was making dinner and I turned on some music, some like
Billy Joel
no,
and
well, I kicked back to some like EDM stuff. It was a few random
we just
things.
dance.
Yeah, and we just danced. Yeah, we're just like, because
Mhm.
the girls were like, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. And I'm like, okay.
The
So
girls were so into
Um,
it whenever I tried to stop dancing with my 3-year-old, she, like, started screaming, like, "Dance with me." We just
yeah,
keep
so
dancing.
I'm like flipping black bean burgers and dancing at the same time. For us, it's just catching those spontaneous moments as much as we can.
And then last
Um,
mhm.
night, after the girls went to bed,
yeah.
we were talking, and there was this thunderstorm going on, and, as this happens in summertime in the Midwest, and, Ben's like, "Do you wanna watch the show?" It's like, "What show?" He's like, "Watch the lightning." And so we have these great big windows, and so we, like, open the blinds, we shut off all the lights, and I made some cocoa, which was a bad idea because it had, like, a high of 90, and but there's a lot of that, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Because
plentiful.
we
The simple
have,
things are plentiful.
they are, but we both have very adventurous hearts to be around beauty,
Mhm.
to be around to do those things. And
Mhm.
we go in and out of seasons where we can lean into that and lean out of it. And like the lightning thing. And to me, it was so funny too, because it was like, I'm watching like it just like really bright. Like the blinds were closed. I was like, what if I open the blinds? Like what happened? What would happen in our living and dining room if that happened? I was like, that would be cool. And so it just recognizing those moments when they come. We're also, I think some of our greatest moments as a family too is just getting out to like outside. And obviously, it's summertime. It's beautiful. There's all sorts of ways to just find pockets of like let's go to Art
Yeah.
Hill and sit down, have a picnic, have dinner. Like no one had that idea 5 minutes ago, and now we're walking out the door. And
Yeah.
so,
Love it. That's such a
yeah,
great, simple example of play that I think probably a lot of people do not even know that that is available to them. I would say our kids love to dance.
Mhm.
They always have from a very young age, and it's often a very connecting activity. So,
And it gets the wiggles out,
yep,
yep,
it's
Mhm.
regulating. Yeah.
yep, get the zoomies out. All right. One final question for you guys. This has been a lovely conversation. Thanks so much for being with us. If you could go back and tell your younger selves one thing about marriage or parenting, what would it be? Your choice. You can share both. You can just share one. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I would tell myself that marriage, like relationships, is a bank account. It's an emotional bank account. And if you, like any bank account, continue to withdraw without making regular deposits, there's going to be a problem. And so, yeah, and I don't know like why that was like a necessary thing for me to learn. I just think it's like, well, we're committed. So
Mm,
let's just drag each other
hmm.
around and get things done. I was like,
Right,
Mhm.
right.
"No, no.
Uh-huh.
There's a better way to do this." And that Christ-like, that's not gonna take you where you wanna go. Sometimes I have that realization on a new level of, "Oh my gosh." Sometimes if I feel like our dynamic is going sideways, what is the problem? Like, "Oh, I
Mm.
don't know if we've been making any deposits. I feel like we've just
Mm,
been making daily withdrawals."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
that takes a toll. And so
Mhm.
I
yeah.
think that's what I would go into marriage at a younger age. Would have loved to
Uh-huh.
have known that. It makes sense, but
Mhm.
to put words to that helps me think through like what does this relationship need?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Needs
yeah.
deposit.
What's interesting is for my response would be, and people said this to me before I was married and right after I got married, and maybe I listened to them. I'm not sure if I did. So if I would listen to myself, if I said this, part of me feels like I think I would lean in a little bit more if knowing like I'm talking to the future version of myself, no matter what.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it this does apply to both parenting and marriage. I feel like this is going
Okay.
to be way harder than you ever thought possible.
I would like to say that to my younger self too.
Yeah, yeah, no,
This isn't going to be all fun.
yeah.
I
This is
just
going
did
to be
not
hard.
anticipate that it was gonna be hard. I thought it was gonna be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. This, and the other aside to that is just like this, son, you are an incredible human being. You
Yeah.
are way more selfish than you realize. And this is going to
Mhm.
bring that out in you. And that's
Yep.
okay, because God's
Mhm.
going to use that to form you into the man that he wants you to become.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's what I love saying yes to. Oh, what's the transformation for me? Like
Yeah.
that to me is the thing. Oh, I'm saying yes to this not because I like hard things, but I'm saying
Right.
yes to this because I know what lies on the other side of that. And so we do have an affinity for hard things.
Like we say
But
yes to all the
but
hard things.
actually, and maybe this is the epiphany I'm having. This is why I love having conversations like this. Is actually I think we like our things thing.
Mhm.
Like that's what
Yeah.
we're after.
Mhm.
And so it's like if you can convince anyone to say, this is who you're going to become on the other side, the answer is okay, cool. Do I have to go to hell and back to do that? Like, do I get a detour through purgatory? Like, what are we doing here? And it's like, I'm going to go through the storm. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I think I would have listened to my older self say that, but and the reason why I would say that is because really embodying that part, I feel like would have helped saved a lot of damage along the way. The self awareness to
Or
what
just like minimize
yeah,
pain.
minimize pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the things along the way, I think would have been
And
helpful.
can we do you agree that like I think we've talked about this, like not everything has to be hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God has like given us the gift of being open to hard things, of
Right.
embracing a good challenge.
Yeah.
Um, but almost to the point of realizing like, oh, you know what? We can just like we can press the easy button sometimes.
Yep.
Not everything
Mhm.
has to be hard. A lot of good things are on the other side.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I would just share like how much I can relate to that, Ben. I remember thinking, so my conclusion was it's hard because something's wrong with me or I'm doing it wrong. If I was better at this or if I
Mm,
knew what to do or knew the right thing to do, it would feel easy. So
mm.
Yeah.
that was like this very subtle, like multiple layers deep conclusion that I came to about marriage and parenting early on. And so
It's so hard.
I was always looking for something outside of me.
Mm.
I just got to find the thing that makes
Yeah.
this better or easier. And I have this vivid memory of Abby looking at me and saying, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad.
Mhm.
And when she said it, I
Not at
literally
all.
remember thinking, I don't believe that.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm not on board with that. Like hard is bad. And I want to escape emotional pain.
Yep.
I don't ever want to find myself in feeling like I'm trapped in emotional pain. And so I was like, no, this has got to be bad. And so yeah, what you just said, if you would have said that to me when I was younger and I would have believed you and been like, oh yeah, Ben knows what he's talking about. That's true. That would have helped me out a lot.
I find myself telling my clients a lot lately, if you want to make a hard thing harder, tell yourself that it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah.
Tell
Yes.
yourself that this
Yep.
should be easy, and you
Yeah.
have instantly made that hard thing much harder,
That's
rather
right.
Mhm.
than saying, "This is
It's
hard because
supposed
it's
to be
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
Yeah.
literally hard because it's hard." Doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
crazy, doesn't
Right.
mean I'm
Mhm.
incompetent, doesn't mean even necessarily mean I'm missing something, it's just hard because it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
guys so
you.
much. Okay, so where can people find you online?
I mentioned before my Substack. You can find me on Substack. So it's substack.com/. The name of the Substack is Upside Down Motherhood. Okay. So I'm
Perfect.
still pretty new on there. I'm still building it. But if you want to find me, Google Upside Down Motherhood Substack, and that should come up.
Perfect. And I'll put the link in the show notes so
Oh, okay,
everyone
cool.
can easily find it.
Yeah. And then
Ben?
I have a YouTube channel called Life in the Bigger Story.
Mm.
It is spiritual formation for men, deep spiritual formation for a chaotic time and age. And so, how do we become these strong spiritual pillars as men, as husbands, as fathers right now? So, it's for those high performing, high achieving guys who are looking for that next thing, but they keep missing it because they're doing all this external stuff, but need to work on that internal world. I think it's at Bigger Story on YouTube. You can find
Awesome.
it there, about 10 weeks old and going strong. So,
Right on. We'll put that link
Beautiful.
in the show notes as well.
yeah, right on.
Cool.
Ben and
Yeah.
Thanks,
Shauna,
guys.
thank you so much for your
you.
Would
time.
love to
What
connect
a
with you
lovely
next time we're in
conversation.
Colorado.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
such a blessing,
let
guys.
us
Thank you so
know.
much for this
We
opportunity.
would love that. We'd love to have you over to our house for dinner and meet the kiddos
It'd
and
be
We'd love
fun.
that.
the whole thing.
That'd
Yeah.
be great.
This has been great.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.